Yeah, my name's Roger. I'm just doing this quick video on the 10 working principles of Extinction Rebellion. So, number one, we have a shared vision of change. So that sort of means more or less what it says. We work together to have an idea of what we're trying to do and then keep that in mind as we get on with stuff. We set our mission on what is necessary. So again, we're looking at the real world, seeing how it works and acting upon that world. Number three, we need a regenerative culture. So this is a big sort of change potentially from a lot of movements that don't really look after what's happening between people and the culture of the group. And regenerative means a culture which enables people to personally grow and become more resilient. It doesn't just mean supporting people, it means enabling people to have a more service orientation and a more sort of mature attitude, as you might say, to activism. Okay, so number four, we openly challenge ourselves and this toxic system. So this is sort of interesting because a lot of movements are very externally orientated. You know, the system's really toxic and they obviously do great stuff to try and change that. But it's also the case that we ourselves aren't that perfect and we hold various traumas and untogethernesses within ourselves, and we need to challenge those and be open to being challenged in a non-violent way, as it were. So we value reflection and learning, which sort of is number five, so that sort of leads on from number four. So what that specifically might mean is if we do some actions or we do an event, then we evaluate it in a non-judgmental way afterwards to find out what worked well, what didn't work well, and we're endlessly learning. So if we think this video isn't that great, then we go and make another one and we keep iterating, as it were. Okay, so we welcome everyone and every part of everyone into Extinction Rebellion. So the idea here is that we're not in the business of saying someone should or shouldn't be doing something. We're in the business of welcoming people as they are into the group. So that might mean specifically, you know, speaking one-to-one to people in meetings, having a welcoming attitude, encouraging participation, people talking. So it can be quite concrete, and we're not in the business of like making judgments about people when they enter into Extinction Rebellion spaces. Okay, so we actively mitigate for power. So this is another sort of major part of Extinction Rebellion's sort of philosophy, as you might say, is that we encourage people to take on positions who generally don't get that chance because of structural inequalities and oppression in society. And it also means that we have a structure that encourages autonomy and creativity. So that means that groups can form, it's holocratic as the phrase goes, which basically means if you have a group you can get on with stuff. You don't need to take sort of commands or instructions off another group as long as what you're doing is within the aims and principles of Extinction Rebellion and you're fulfilling the roles and responsibilities that are being given to you or your group. Okay, so we avoid blaming and shaming. Again, this is a bit of a new thing because a lot of political movements sort of like to say they're right and other people are wrong and they're bad people because they are wrong and they need to change. What we're saying is we're focusing on actions and situations and systems. We're not like judging people's souls, as it were. And that's a new development, and that really enables a lot of people to get on board with Extinction Rebellion because people aren't afraid of being judged. We are a non-violent movement, so that's more or less what it says on the tin. We don't believe in throwing stones at people or being aggressive either to the police or the general public or to ourselves. So non-violence is an external thing and an internal thing, but this is an absolute like basic principle that we don't engage in violence towards others. And lastly, we are based on autonomy and decentralisation. So that's been covered a little bit already, but the general gist is people can go off and create their own Extinction Rebellion groups or subgroups and what have you, and as long as they remain within the aims and principles of what I've just told you, and we actively decentralise and push out different functions and mandates to new groups to bring them in. And through doing all these things, we intend and are growing rapidly and having a good time at the same time, which is always important in my humble opinion. Thank you.